just stuck out here in quarantine for week 3. I figured going to a small town outside of my city, because I live downtown in a condo building where everybody touches everything. So I left, I'm out here. This is the only room that has 2 doors I can close, so I'm not being overly loud, and there's cool shit on the wall, so I'm gonna use it. Kind of weird, whatever. I think my first video was slightly over 8 months of results from laser light therapy to regain hair. So that was just over 8 months, and now I'm just over 10 months. And actually at the beginning of January, I started to add in some Minoxidil, also known as Rogaine. As much as I'd like to have kept just doing laser and seeing what it could do on its own, they say that it takes up to 2 years to see the actual full results from laser. And if it doesn't give me the results that I want, I'm actually losing hair more than I should have on the way to the 2 years, and then I'm going to be upset that I didn't start layering things like Rogaine or anything else, because at the end of the day, I'd much rather just like to see how much I can regain than be some sort of scientist and tell everybody the truth about how much each individual thing does. So what I've started to use is the 5% Minoxidil. I'm using the foam, because I hear that some people that use the liquid, I guess it's in a dropper or something like that, when they put it in their hair, it can drip onto their forehead, and maybe that's part of why people are saying that their skin, their face skin, their forehead skin starts to wrinkle. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it's just also that people that are the age where they start to lose their hair are getting older, and maybe they're just looking a little bit more at their forehead and they're thinking that the wrinkles that they're naturally getting are because of the Minoxidil. I don't know, but it seems that the foam itself stays more in your hair instead of dripping down. So that's one benefit. Also, it's easier to just shoot into the little cap it comes with. You fill it halfway, not the full way, halfway. That's 1 milliliter, which they suggest, and you apply it to the areas where you need it. And if you are concerned about it aging the skin on your face, some things that I have done is I'm not putting it on right before I go to bed, because there's a theory out there that if it's in your hair and then you go to sleep, some of it's going to get onto your pillow, and then you're just going to be rolling around in it a little bit on your face, and just over time it's going to dry out your skin, and that's bad. So I'm not doing it before I go to bed. And then some people don't want to use it and directly go to the gym and start sweating, because they think that'll make it drip down their face as well. I've heard that the foam, another benefit of the foam is that it absorbs fully into your scalp in, I think, 10 to 15 minutes, whereas the liquid takes 60 to 90 minutes. So if you're a workout guy and you want to just go, the foam is going to be in there much more quickly than the liquid. So that's another benefit of that. On the instructions, I think they say that you're supposed to use it twice a day. Now, like everybody that's trying to regain their hair, I've done a lot of research, I've looked into it, and it seems to me like the reason they say that is because that's how they tested it when they initially got approval from the FDA or something like that. But it stays in your system for 21 hours. So really, if you're doing it twice a day just to gain 3 extra hours and risking maybe some more side effects, that's stupid. You're fine to use it once a day. And even the 1 milliliter amount that they say to use, if you fill the cap that the foam comes in up to halfway, that's 1 milliliter. But that's also kind of arbitrary, because if you're just missing a little bit of hair here, you just got to cover the area. So don't use the whole milliliter and just put it on one small area because you think that's what you have to do. And at this point, it could also just be a bit of a, I don't know if you call it a marketing tactic, but imagine you're the company. If you tell people to use it twice a day, you're going to sell twice as many bottles, right? You're going to make more money. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. As for any side effects, I barely noticed anything. I noticed one thing, but I could have just noticed it because I was looking for it. Some people report that they get chest pains because it messes with your blood pressure. And I did get a couple, not right away, but maybe a week or 2 weeks later. And maybe I'm just attributing it to that, and it could have been one of those chest pains that I'm sure we all get randomly anyway. But I also heard that people feel they get more side effects if they use it and then go to sleep. I don't know if that's to do with the fact that you're lying like this, and then blood pressure, it just kind of works a little bit differently when you're lying down. But I take mine probably 4 to 5 hours before I go to bed. So no issues with lots of pain, with feeling lightheaded, with an itchy scalp or anything like that. So side effect free, as most people will be. When you read about taking Minoxidil and you watch the videos online, or you go into the forums, God forbid, and you read about people's experiences with it, you read a lot about this shedding phase. People start to use it and then they lose a whole lot more and they start freaking out, and a lot of them quit. Well, not everybody gets a shedding phase, and the people who do, it's I think they say 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere in there is usually when it will be. So these people that start it and they think that they're losing a bunch of hair on week 2, they're probably just paranoid and they're seeing their scalp and they're thinking, oh no, this must be because of the minoxidil, whereas maybe it's just their normal rate of hair loss. So if you're going to do something like this, you have to give it the right amount of time or you're wasting your time. Now, I've also seen a lot of people saying that you should notice for sure by 3 months. Now, these people are just randoms on YouTube and in forums and all of that. But if you watch the hair loss channel on YouTube, which I'll link to below, they say that the results for Rogaine or minoxidil is going to start between 4 and 6 months. And they say if you get them even at 4 months, that's incredible because almost nobody ever will. So I think I started at the beginning of January. It's the beginning of April, so I'm just into 3 months now. And I think I'm noticing a whole lot of change, but based on them, and they're the experts, I shouldn't notice anything for another month. So I'm hoping that all the thickness that I'm noticing is still just because of the low-level laser therapy that I'm doing. If that's the case, and my gains are all from that, and minoxidil is still about to start in the next couple months, that's going to be awesome. That would be, that was stupid. Why did I do that? I've never done that in my life. Anyway, I'm going to try to keep this video shorter than my first video, the 8-month low-level laser whatever therapy, LLLT. Can never seem to remember what that's called, but let's just take a look at a couple images and I'll talk you through them. So I pre-recorded my screen and I'm going to talk over it after, so hopefully I know where my mouse is moving. The right side is always the newer photos, the left side is the older ones. Lighting's slightly different, but you can see it looks thinner, I think, on the left than the right. Zoom in a little bit, zoom out a little bit. Yeah, my skin glows a little more on the left because I'm closer to a window. Here's my right corner. On the left versus the right, you can see quite a difference actually on this one. I guess I'm just sectioning it off so that you can look at how many hairs are within that area. My head's tilted slightly different in both photos, but you can still tell that there's pretty good difference on the right-hand side. Hairs look a little darker because the light is less intense, but it's pretty comparable. It's both natural lighting. And then even just the hair behind it, you can definitely see it's thicker on the right-hand side. Trying to match this angle here. So again, my skin looks way whiter on the left because I'm closer to the window than it does on the right. I don't see much of a difference here. Ignore that phone call. Yeah, so nothing too shocking here. My best photo is the last one that I'm going to show you. But for now, just for comparison's sake, zooming in a little bit. Overall hair looks darker on the right, but again, I think that's because my hair color changes a lot if I'm in light or if it's a little bit darker. Here's another photo from a slightly different angle just a second later. Good quality. You can see all the individual hairs. Here's another one. So my left side is the one where I think you can see the most progress. You're going to see that in the next photos the best, but this area here, I'm going to zoom in on in the next photos, and you're going to notice a pretty good difference, I think. What am I doing here? Screen record. What am I doing? Yeah, that red dot is key. That's just a spot on my head, I guess, the last couple of years. So if I draw a section out from that and go below or above, you can see how many hairs there are or aren't on one. And I'll do that on this photo as well, but you can't see the red dot on this image. So while we're on it, I guess I'm zooming in, get a better idea. Zoom in here. I just threw these photos in because I had them. But this is the reason I wanted to make another video right now. Huge difference, I think. You can't even see the red dot on the right side. So here it is. You can see all the hairs above, below, behind. And then that is where it is on the new one. It took me a second to even find it. So I'm probably going to just draw a square or whatever, a rectangle. Yeah, there I go. You can see all the hairs coming out from there versus all the hairs coming out here. Now my head's at a slightly different angle. You can tell because the direction of the hair growth, but it's just undeniable. Like, this is some actual results finally. You know, it's been 10 and a little bit months and I'm finally seeing something, but not even just in 10 and a couple months. It's a difference in the last 6 weeks because these photos are from February and then the end of March. Even below the spot here, on the right-hand newer photo, you see more hairs than on the left side. He had a couple babies coming in here on the left side, but just, it's night and day, honestly. Way thicker. So I'm sure that's a couple new hairs, but also just all the hairs that are there. I think the actual diameter of each individual hair is thicker. I think I'm just drawing a line down directly below it here. I'm doing the same over here. Again, it's so obvious, right? Way more hairs. Oh yeah, I had two more photos of this side, slightly different angle or lighting. There's that spot. You can see it a little better here. I'm probably going to draw rectangles again or something. I don't remember what I just did. Yep. You get the picture. But deal with it. I'm going to keep playing this. And here's the last one. Hair looks darker here. I'm just maybe further away from the window. I think this is the most unfair comparison just because my hair looks way darker, so it seems thicker. And my head's tilted down a bit more. It looks like the hairs are going down instead of to the left like they are in this photo. But that'd be something if this whole area just filled out completely and I didn't have any widow's peak there. Or much of one. I've always had one my whole life. It's just my natural hair. Front of my hair line has always been a V. And then here I have a couple videos. This is from the first section back in February, back at my house before I was trapped here in quarantine, just with my phone. You can't really tell a difference too much between that and this new one I just shot, but I figured I'd throw it in anyway. And it looks way thinner when the hairs just tend to grow right in the direction of the camera, because you can see from some angles I've got hair everywhere. It's just thinner some places until you shoot it from the side, then it looks thicker. But whatever. And yeah, that's about it. So pretty happy that I'm seeing actual results start. Just looking forward to see where this takes me. And also I've purchased a derma roller from Hairliciously, the derma pen actually, but I ordered that in December and it's still not here for a lot of mix-ups and I haven't heard back from him. But in the meantime, I just ordered a cheap little roller one and I started using it yesterday. So that's the next layer that I'm adding in. And my next follow-up, whenever that is, whether it's a month from now or whatever, that will include, I guess at that point, laser, minoxidil, and the rollers. So subscribe if you care, and let's just see how much I can recover. Thanks, guys.